If you told my 24-year-old self that my idea of a perfect Saturday afternoon in my 30s will be planting flowers, pulling weeds, and checking on tomato plants, I probably would have laughed. Back then, free time for me meant staying stimulated, staying out, and frankly, spending a lot of money to keep up with the noise. But somewhere around 30, a shift happened for me. I paid off all my student loans to become debt free, and now I have other goals I want to accomplish. Also, the everyday hustle just gets exhausting. Burnout becomes a real threat, and suddenly peace becomes the ultimate luxury. Today, I want to talk about why embracing boring, slow-paced hobbies like gardening isn't just good for your mental health, it's actually the most underrated way to accelerate your wealth. Let's look at the math first because the numbers are staggering. In our 20s, our hobbies are often consumption-based hobbies. A weekend night out, dinner, drinks, and Uber home, which can easily cross $150. Do that once a week and you're looking at about $600 a month. Over a year, that is over $7,000 evaporated into temporary entertainment. When you transition into adding more production-based hobbies like gardening, your relationship with entertainment completely changes. For example, a packet of seeds costs $3, a bag of soil maybe $10, but the hours of entertainment, focus, and genuine satisfaction you get from nurturing your little plants and your little seeds into life, it's virtually free. By replacing high-cost social spending with low-cost, high-peace activities, you effortlessly plug the leaks in your budget. You aren't depriving yourself. You've simply found a loophole where entertainment costs pennies instead of hundreds of dollars. But let's talk about what that saved money actually does for us in our 30s. This is the decade of big financial milestones. Maybe you're trying to pay off debt, save for a down payment for your first house, fund a wedding, a big trip, or even build an emergency fund. When you substitute an expensive lifestyle for a cheap, fulfilling hobby, that $600 a month you save shifts from passive cash to a wealth building engine. Let's look at a concrete goal, like paying off debt or saving for a wedding. If you route that $600 a month into a high yield savings account or a conservative index fund, in just 3 years, you could have maybe over $22,000 in cash sitting there. That is a massive chunk of a down payment built entirely out of the difference between going to crowded bars or hanging out in your backyard or in your balcony. If your goal is retirement, compounding interest turns that boring hobby into a goldmine. Investing $600 a month for 15 years at an average 8% return turns into roughly $200,000. Your tomato plants didn't just give you fresh salsa, they literally bought you a piece of your financial freedom. And again, it's all about balance. Go out once in a while, but also incorporate things like this. Like, that's what I love to do, a mix of both. Finally, gardening teaches you the exact psychology you need to manage that house fund or investment portfolio, and that is patience. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want the house tomorrow, we want the big savings account today, the quick win. But wealth, real wealth, is boring. It's compounding interest, it's putting money away month after month and seeing nothing happen for years until suddenly it blossoms. You can't yell at a seed to grow faster. You can't pull at your sprout to make it a tree. In fact, if you try to rush it, you might just kill the plant. The exact same rule applies to your savings goal. You don't check your savings fund every single day and see if it moved. You just provide the right environment, do the small daily habits, and trust the progress. When you internalize that patience in the dirt, it becomes incredibly easy to stop panic selling your index funds or touching your emergency savings when things get tight. And it doesn't just have to be a garden. You can go to a thrift store and get some tennis rackets or some pickleball paddles, grab a friend, and go outside. Hit a public court. So if you're in your 30s and you feel yourself pulling away from the fast lane, don't fight it. Embrace the slow, normalize the boring, because when you learn to cultivate peace in your backyard, you might just find you're cultivating a much richer life in every sense of the word. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite boring hobby that keeps you grounded? See you in my next one, and don't forget to build your authentic dream life.